Alright, we're about ready to get things started here. I hope everyone is having a magnificent Monday night so far. Firstly, before we get started, so I got some ramune at the store. You can get them at like Walmarts and whatnot. All the good stuff. I feel like savoring this moment with a nice opening it up, you know. Ah. It's always a satisfying sound. Anyway. So we got some news for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Just another day where we have to pay our condolences. We have to pay our condolences for another game we'll be going under next year. And that game, ladies and gentlemen, is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I know, everyone is heartbroken over this news. All joking aside, Rocksteady announced that they'll be ending any and all support for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League starting in January, if I remember. I think that's what it said. I don't think anyone's gonna miss it, honestly. I think everyone's just kind of shocked it got this far. I think they just added Deathstroke, I believe. That was like the big hero that they were teasing. So yeah. Whether or not I got them back is a whole other thing. Like, I know it recently had like a big sale, and I did end up getting it just for the hell of it. I haven't played it yet, and I don't really plan to, if I'm being completely honest. I find it a little funny that they're ending support for it. I'm actually surprised they're not shutting it down. Like, it doesn't, in the article I saw, it didn't say shut down. It just said they're ending support. So it will stop getting updates in January. So who knows at this point what they mean by that? Maybe they'll shut it down after like a few months. We're gonna have to wait and see. So we gotta talk about the Game Awards, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, wasn't able to do a reaction stream of it. I'll try and get one in next year. For some reason, right, I thought the Game Awards was tonight. I didn't know it was on a Thursday. So I basically just didn't have the time to request it off, and I already had another day requested off prior to that. So yeah, that's a bit of an oopsie. That's also why there wasn't a stream last night. Because the Game Awards was still going on by the time I got home from work. So I want to finish watching all that. But let's go through the highlights. Obviously we're gonna go to the couple of very big awards that went out. So obviously, Game of the Year went to Astrobot. I've not played it myself, although I've heard really good things about Astrobot. Like, a lot of people said that, it was worthy of being a Game of the Year contender, even though I personally feel like there should have been other games up for contention this year. I still find it odd that they added Shadow of the Year Tree, which is so funny because they had the two old, I can't remember their names, the two old Muppets that just make fun of like every theater thing that they're at. I can't remember their names. But they make a joke about that. They make a joke about a couple of things. They try and be like meta about it almost. Like they bring up the fact there's a DLC up for contention, and they make a mention to one of the main sort of controversies that happened at last year's Game Awards, where they were telling like the voice actors and all the other award winners to hurry it up so that they could get off the stage and all that, which is very odd. But Astrobot, congrats to the devs of Astrobot for that one. I'll try and play it whenever I get the time. There's a lot of games I'm still trying to play through right now. I guess one of the main thing now I'm speaking as someone who has not watched either show yet, so I wouldn't know. But I know a lot of people were upset about Fallout winning Best Adaptation over Arcane, which, based on what I've heard, Arcane is... Well, both shows are phenomenal from what I've heard. As I said, based on what I've heard, it seems like Arcane had a better shot of getting it than Fallout. So, yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched either show yet. I'm still in the middle of watching Spy Family. I'm almost finished with season 2. I'm a procrastinating bitch. But I'm a little bit upset Black Myth Wukong didn't win Game of the Year, but that did win Player's Choice, which is the Player's Choice is like the 100%, you know, viewer, like 100% user voted one. So Wukong won Player's Choice, so you could make the argument that technically counts as well, which I am happy for personally. I was a little bit surprised to see that Astrobot. I think Astrobot also won Best Family Game during like the pre-show. Because I thought for sure it was going to go to Super Mario Party, because 9 times out of 10 the Best Family Game award usually goes to a Nintendo game. So there was that. What else was there? GTA 6 obviously won Best Most Anticipated Game. I think everyone is getting, like, 2025 is going to be a big year for gaming. That's going to be, like, 2025 is going to be what 2023 was. I can almost guarantee it. Unless everything gets pushed back here, in which case, well, shit. Yeah, anything else that, from, like, awards specifically? Because I'm going to get to games that were shown off, games that I was genuinely surprised to see come back. You know, we're just gonna go ahead and jump into it now. This entire Game Awards ceremony was basically the Game Awards where old IPs came back. Old IPs, not just old IPs, but devs that are famous for certain types of games are coming back with brand new projects and all that. A lot of stuff that, like, a lot of the announcements for this year really fucking... Well, firstly, even though this has been shown off for a while now, I am excited that we're finally getting a release window for Crimson Desert. That's been on my watch list since it was first announced. So I think the release window is like late 2025. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked for that. But now the first like oddball thing that I saw was it was during the pre-show. They showed off this game called Shadow Labyrinth, which is from what I could gather is gonna be a Metroidvania where you use... I was also getting Dustin Elysian Tale vibes from it. I don't know why. Maybe it's because, like, oh, you're playing as a dude with a sword, and you got, like, this little, like, companion buddy, which, by the way, the little companion is fucking Pac-Man. And it looks like you'll be able to morph into Pac-Man to do different things, like climbing up walls and eating power pellets and all that other type of stuff. And at the end of it, it showed Pac-Man with fangs. I'm just like... Oh, all right then. So yeah, Shadow Labyrinth looks like it'll be an interesting, a very interesting Metroidvania to play through. The next one that like I'm actually really fucking stoked for, and this might actually give me a reason to get into the show. The Game of Thrones game that was announced. There was a new Game of Thrones game announced. I think it's called Game of Thrones King's Road. And obviously the only games that we had in the Game of Thrones like universe were the Telltale game, which, by the way, I gotta add that to my list also. So yeah, you had the Telltale game, and then you had, you know, the fucking very crappy mobile game. Like, I'm actually genuinely shocked that it's taken us this long to get a Game of Thrones game that looks interesting. Because this looks to be an action adventure type hack and slash. I kind of got like maybe you'll play like God of War 2018. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked for that. It might actually get me into watching Game of Thrones. I started it years ago. I got like partway through the first season and I just stopped. And this game might actually get me into picking it back up, picking the show back up again. So yeah, Game of Thrones King's Road looks to be pretty cool. Then you had a new Elden Ring game announced, which by the way, I gotta say, I am with you, Bloodborne crowd. I am upset that we didn't get any Bloodborne remastered announcement. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But let's see here. Yeah, they showed off a new Elden Ring game called Elden Ring Night Rain. And apparently it's going to incorporate some of the characters from different Souls games. Like, apparently, even though we didn't get anything there was a character from Bloodborne. I think her name was Maria. That was shown. And the Nameless King from either Elden Ring or Dark Souls. I don't know a lot of the major characters in those games. He appeared as well, and based on what I could gather, it seems like it's going to be like this weird battle royale PvE type game. Because it's all co-op. It looks to be co-op, which kind of intrigued me a bit, because it seems like it's going to be like a direct multiplayer co-op rather than like you need to summon your friend and you get like the silhouette. This looks to be like more direct compared to like the other Souls games. And because it was kind of cool because it showed off this this like bird, this like phantom looking bird thing, which according to what I've seen appears to be like that game's version of the battle bus. So it looks interesting, but there are people worried, and I can kind of I get where their worries. I get why they're worried. It still looks cool though. I still need to pick up Elden Ring. I own it. I've been meaning to play it, but just, you know, a lot of other stuff has been requiring my attention. There was another game announced by the Yakuza devs called Project Century, which is taking place in Japan in, I think, 1915. And originally I thought it was a Yakuza game. But I was like, man, this is gonna be one of the, because in this trailer they show off like you using this crowbar and caving this dude's head in. There's like a fuckload amount of blood. Showing, I'm like, man, if this is a Yakuza game, this is like easily the goriest Yakuza game I've ever seen. But no, it seems to be somewhat unrelated. It still takes place in Japan. It does still look really fucking good though. Like the game looks beautiful. So I can't wait for that. Then obviously I think the actual awards, the full show started off with the Witcher 4 trailer, which I'm really excited for. Looks like you're gonna be able to play a Ciri this time around. I did start playing through Witcher 3. I kind of stopped playing it though. I'm definitely gonna try and get back into it when the next year rolls around if I can. But I know a lot of people are upset that that you're playing a Ciri, even though based on what I've read, this is kind of like where the story has been going for a while now. So I personally feel like it makes sense. I get why people were like, oh, I would have been cool to make your own Witcher. I mean, shit, who's to say that they won't do that for the next Witcher game? Depending on how Witcher 4 goes, who's to say the next Witcher game won't be you create your own character? Like, calm down, people. But I know after Witcher 4's release, I feel like they're gonna focus on Cyberpunk 2, which does, because I have predictions for this year. One of my predictions was that they were gonna give us a teaser for The Witcher 4. And I thought they were also gonna add in a teaser for the new Cyberpunk game, but no, I was only half right on my prediction. My other predictions were Jak and Daxter remake trilogy, God of War remake trilogy, and Quake remake. Neither of those happened, so I'm stuck crying at the end of the night. Then we got a sequel to Outer Worlds 2 announced, which I am excited for. I played the first Outer Worlds game when it came out back in 2018, 2019, one of those years. It was fun. Highly recommend you go play it if you're into like it's more like hyper sci-fi, if there's any word for it. Either way, I recommend you go play it if you haven't. Then I talked about Telltale earlier. They did announce another game called Dispatch, which it seems like you're it seems like you're working as a dispatcher at like this police headquarters, but except it's for superheroes. Because they showed off like different types of heroes and different types of powers and all that, and you're gonna be able to select like what hero goes on what mission. Which that could be fun. Obviously we're gonna have to wait and see more on that. What else was there? Okay, so on to stuff that we weren't really expecting. So we got a new game announced by the same devs of Shadow of the Colossus, Eco, and The Last Guardian. It has gone untitled so far. It doesn't have a name. But the teaser showed like this pilot dude walking up what looked to be a very huge mech suit. And they go into the head of this mech suit and they fly off before the suit just gets completely obliterated by something, because there's like an ominous countdown throughout the duration of the trailer. Don't know what that's about. Don't know what the game is called. But it could be fun. Obviously we're gonna have to wait and see more on that end. And probably there were so many huge surprises this year, because probably one of the biggest ones was they announced a new Virtua Fighter game. We got a new Virtua Fighter announced, which I guess that game hasn't had a new game since like 2007. So yeah, that was really shocking to see. Almost immediately after that, we got the announcement of a new fucking Turok game, which is so hilarious because me and my coworker, we were literally talking about the other day about, oh, why haven't we got a new Turok game in like forever, or like a remake? And lo and behold, we're getting a new Turok game. When they showed off the trailer, I thought it was a new trailer for Arc 2, because I know like that game has like the similar futuristic, prehistoric aesthetic to it. But we got a new Turok game. It's called Turok Origins. Looks like it's gonna be a third-person. It's gonna be a three-player third-person shooter. It looks to be more akin to like Monster Hunter almost, which could be really cool. Yeah, no, this game looks fun. I already have it wishlisted on Steam, so stoked to see when that comes out. Then one of the last game reveals of the night was, hey, Naughty Dog remembered that they can make new video games. So one of the last trailers they showed off for the Game Awards was a trailer for a brand new IP of this sci-fi, looks to be bounty hunter style game called Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet. And immediately the trailer opens up with basically this anime playing on this TV in the ship, which, by the way, there was a fuckload of product placement in this trailer alone. There was like 3 different brands I noticed, because the ship itself is a Porsche ship. The main character, who is like this you know, buzz-haired, nice looking lady, which obviously, you know, a lot of fucking dipshits on the internet got mad at, so they can cry. She looked like she was wearing Adidas shoes, and on top of that, when she gets into like her cockpit thing, basically, she's playing on a Sony, like a Sony radio or a CD player. And I was looking more into it. It appears Neil Druckmann is going to be the director of this. I have not played anything Neil Druckmann. I guess he was like behind The Last of Us Part 2, which I still haven't played any of The Last of Us games, so honestly wouldn't know. But Trent Reznor is going to compose the soundtrack for this game, which, you know, already stoked on, because Trent Reznor, that dude's composed games for so many iconic franchises. He's composed soundtracks for, like he did the, I talked about Quake earlier, he did the Quake 1 soundtrack. And more recently, because the soundtrack's kind of been on my mind, he did the soundtrack for Call of Duty Black Ops 2. So that he's kind of like big in the video game industry for the soundtracks that he composes. So that we're looking to have a pretty good soundtrack on our hands with this one. And in case it wasn't obvious, they did confirm that there was like a very heavy Cowboy Bebop inspired style, which I couldn't tell judging by the very obvious Cowboy Bebop looking anime playing on the TV. But obviously, we're gonna need to see gameplay on it, see what the story's like. It could be really fun if they can knock it out of the park with because we haven't really had like a good sci-fi sort of bounty hunting game in a hot minute or ever. So if they turn this into a really great hunting style game, well, firstly, you bet your ass that yours truly is gonna be playing it. And I've always generally been a fan of what Naughty Dog has put out. I enjoy Uncharted. Y'all know I love Jak and Daxter. I've only played a little bit of Crash Bandicoot, but I do love Crash Bandicoot. So yeah, I'm just excited that we're getting a new thing from Naughty Dog after almost 10 years. So yeah, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet looks to be very interesting. We don't have a release window yet. Could be 2025, could be even 2026 or 2027. We're gonna have to wait and see. And then, hold on, I'm gonna get a drink right quick because I'm quite parched. All right, now, the big reveal, it was like the last reveal at the end of the Game Awards ceremony that you know, that our good old buddy Jeff was super excited to show off. We got the announcement of a sequel to Okami, which I've not played Okami, but I've heard many great things about it. And I know that Okami fans are absolutely excited for this game's announcement. I'll have to pick a time to play the original Okami, because I know you can get Okami HD on Steam and all that. And I don't know. Okay, I don't know how I almost forgot, but in the middle of the show, they also announced a brand new Onimusha game. Which, from what I know, Onimusha is basically Resident Evil, but in feudal Japan. And I know there's a lot of fans of the Onimusha franchise. Hey, I roll the Crazy Kraken. Thank you for the raid with the party of 11 viewers. Hello, everyone. I am Bill with the Banner. Bill was my name. I'm bounty hunting is my game. I hunt at the base of the Badlands, and I head back to my bunker hideout. And I do this, and before we jump into Lord of the Rings War in the North, we're talking about the Game Awards. New Onimusha game, which I was not expecting, because it seemed like Capcom was kind of leaving that game series on the wayside for the longest time now. And also, just a personal thing that I popped for, we're getting Clive Rossfield in Tekken 8. So you bet your ass I'll be buying that shit when it comes out. I think it's the 16th, if you want like early access. So I'm definitely gonna buy Clive Rossfield, especially since I'm gonna be gearing up for my 5-year streaming anniversary next week. So make sure to tune into that, December 20th. Yeah, we got Clive Rossfield for Tekken 8. I know a lot of people are upset by that because you know, it's not Tifa, but from what I hear, Tifa, or just Final Fantasy VII characters in general, are incredibly expensive to license for different fighting games. Like, apparently, I heard Cloud was, like, incredibly difficult to get into Smash. So yeah. And it's one of those times where I wish Namco would release a new Soul Calibur game, because I could totally see Clive fitting in with the Soul Calibur crowd than the Tekken crowd, because he does look very out of place. But I feel like I'm still gonna have fun with him regardless. So yeah. But yeah, no. Game Awards. The award ceremony where IPs came back from the dead. We had Turok. We had Virtual Fighter. We had Onimusha. And we got we got Okami, and we got new game from the Shadow of the Colossus devs. And along with just new IPs in general. Like I know there was another one from Hazelight Games, which is the company behind No Way Out and It Takes Two, called Split Fiction, where the entire gimmick is that you're switching between two different worlds created by these authors. So like one's sci-fi and one's fantasy. That looks like is gonna be really cool. You had another game being made by the Overcooked devs called Stage Fright. I've not played Overcooked. I haven't really played any other game that has been made by them, but that looks like it could be really cool. There's just a lot. There's just a lot. Like we got a new Sonic game announced, a new Sonic racing game announced, which I'm just kind of like, like I haven't really. I'm gonna not entirely excited for the Sonic racing games. I wasn't particularly excited with Team Racing, so yeah. I'm gonna be honest though. When I heard the revving, the engines revving, I thought it was gonna be you know, their upcoming Crazy Taxi release. But no, that wasn't that. And speaking of racing games, they showed off another game called Screamer, which is like this very anime styled racing game. It could be really cool. I honestly thought it was gonna be a new Need for Speed game, but it wasn't. So yeah. But that's basically it. Let's see if I can scroll down and find any more announcements that I may have missed. So we got the new Helldivers 2 update. They added the Illuminates, which finally, along with a new vehicle, looks to be basically a Warthog. You know, could be fun. Again, I just feel like they need to add more to Helldivers 2. Like, I might get back into it, but I also may not. We got another trailer for Dying Light: The Beast, which I was excited for when they showed it off at Gamescom, I believe. New Mafia game, The Old Country. I need to get into the Mafia games. New Double Dragon. Showed off more for the first Berserker Kazan, which has been on my watch list ever since that game was announced. Anything else? Let's see. Borderlands 4. Yeah, we got Borderlands 4 trailer. Again, looks fun. I need to... I still need to play through Borderlands 3, 2. We're still in the middle of the Borderlands 1 playthrough. I've got to get in touch with the boys and see when we could probably continue that. Also, Headpat Zyro. Yeah, Borderlands 4 looks like it could be cool. Killing Floor T? Killing Floor T? No, Killing Floor 3. Looks fun. Oh, yeah! Who made Rematch? Wait, hold on. Hold on. Was this a Psyonix game? Hold on. No. So there was like this soccer game announced called Rematch, and it literally just looks like if the drivers of the Rocket League cars got out and actually played soccer. That actually looks pretty fun. It might be one of the few soccer games I actually play. Gonna go Press after streaming for 5 hours. Oh, okay. Well, you have a good rest, Iro. Thank you once again for the raid. Yeah, you had Thickest Thieves, which is like this, so it's a PvPvE multiplayer stealth game set in the 1910s. That looks pretty cool. They had a moving away VR simulator called One Move Away. This looks pretty wonky. And then obviously new Ninja Gaiden game. I've not played the Ninja Gaiden games, but I know a lot of people love those games, so I'm excited for all of y'all who love Ninja Gaiden. But yeah, I think that's basically it on the Game Awards side of things.